Hey, this is Debbie, and I am here today with my amazing co-host,
Tricia.
Yay. And we are here with our podcast, Your Life Redefined. This is the place where we talk about those things in life that are nothing but opportunities where we get to do what, Tricia?
Redefine things that may not seem like they're the best thing for us, but guess what? Nothing happens to us, it happens for us, and that's what we're here redefining.
Hey, this is Debbie. Welcome to our podcast today. Today's just an intimate conversation that Tricia and I were having, and we're going to let you in on the things that we actually talk about. So we even cover a journey that we have been going through together with the them, they, and the pronouns and the plurals of pronouns. So anyway, we just wanted to be very vulnerable and invite you in to the many, many, many things that her and I just enjoy exploring and talking about. Thank you for joining us.
When you do take that time to fill your own cup, to just be,
Yes.
then you have the time, the whatever, everything else, that it's abundance. It is breath of abundance.
It is breath of abundance.
Truly is. And I swear, I feel like I'm a little leprechaun. And I'm so, not me for anybody else, but me to be able to help other people know that they are too.
Yeah.
And that they too,
Yeah. It's really
the
there.
life that you're living, that I'm living, where we're like, it's flow of ease. Now, I don't go in there and just sit down and eat bonbons. I have things that I'm doing and accomplishing and achieving, but it's not through
Effort.
correct effort or obligation or that heavy feeling, the feeling of, oh, I've got to do this.
That and the other thing that I realized with the recording of that video, that was such an out-of-body experience. When I finally sat back and watched it, I literally just cried because I was watching me. I knew that was me, but I knew I didn't do that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Yeah.
1,000%. It came through you. That was
Yes. Even to the editing, they just told me exact, and then the thing would just go, and I was like, this
and you
is
say they.
crazy. Huh?
You say they, but it's you, your higher self. They that you're talking about are really, when they meld, it's you. It's all you. But it is the essence
It
of
feels they because I have so many tones of voices going off inside me. I get what you're saying. I totally believe what you're saying, but it's okay, here it is. It's when I was taught how to call my child a they. I did not know how to call my child a they because we put they as plural in the American language. And that's how we're taught, that it's a plural form. And so when I was working with my transition coach to go through this journey with Salem, I was like, I cannot wrap my brain around them, they. It is just plural. My brain does not think that way. And the coach, she was amazing. She goes, all right, you willing to do an exercise with me? And I said, absolutely. All right, you're looking up a doctor. Imagine, let's go to an old phone book. You're looking up a doctor and then you see a Dr. Lee, L-I, right? You're going to call Dr. Lee and you're talking about Dr. Lee. You've never met Dr. Lee. You don't know who Dr. Lee is. You don't know anything about Dr. Lee. She goes, have a conversation. I said, well, you have to first call them to find out if they're, she just cocked her head. And I went, that's it right there. It's when you do not put gender on it as if it's a female or a male, then it's a them, they, because you don't know. And even now, it was like such a release because I went, oh, I was like, okay, that makes sense. Now I can practice them, they, because it wasn't about trying to say them, they. It was letting go of the attachment I had put on him, her, them, they. So anyway, we leave and come home because we were in Seattle is where they lived. And we came home and I went to the gym the next morning, Tricia. It was pouring down rain. It's 5 o'clock in the morning and there's someone walking over the bridge near where our gym was. And they had this jacket all up. You couldn't tell who they were than the man in the moon. And I said, what in the heck are they doing out at 5 o'clock in the morning in the rain? And I went, there it is again. It's that kind of thing, if that makes sense.
So how would you say that you redefined that? What is that, redefining?
Being. It's redefining being because there's not an identification on it. And that is the most crazy way of thinking, the way our society is so gender. And it goes all the way back, right, to where the men were the hunter, the women were this and all of that. However, another thing I've started doing is masculine, feminine energy versus male, female, because I feel we all carry all.
We do.
Right?
1000%. 1000.
Right. And because we carry all, there was a time when the women were suppressed because the women were, if you want to call it women, were overriding the men in that time era back, what, thousands and thousands of years ago. And when you start doing history studies, for me around that, it's like, whoa, this is so much bigger. This is not about pink and blue.
I love that. You know what? That brought tears to my eyes and chills down my arm. It reminds me of when I'm doing, past life regressions. When you're doing those, we have come into the body of male gender. We've come into the body of female gender. We've come into the body of lots of things. But we are still us. We are the I am. No matter what box we put ourselves in.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
Oh, and so that's just so beautiful. And so, yes, somebody may come into this physical body of a female physical body, but embody the true masculinity that maybe they didn't use in another life, that they wanted to bring forth, I'm going to be this in this life. It is what it is. They are who they are.
Friday, I went and saw my sound bath. This was so freaking cool. When I went in, I knew something was different. And not that it was, I was anticipating something different. I was just in the moment. There wasn't an expectation or anything like that. So I let her plan her day. I don't tell her what I want. That is just the arrangement. She's like, all right, here's where we go. So I get on the table. She has everything laid out. So it's a sound bath. Immediately, I go into this deep, probably one of the deepest I've ever been in. I don't even know how to tell you what I saw. It was so freaking powerful. She knew she was to align the chakras. So she had the different things for aligning the chakras. And there were certain points that she was to hit. So she would start on different sides of my body. I don't even know how to explain this to you. She would go in and push those areas. Like I remember there was one on my back. And when she pushed, I felt through every pore, these things come through my pores. And I knew they were like antennas. And then I kept hearing, your knower will always know. And then the antennas are doing this. Your knowers will always know. And I'm going. And I'm just laying, I can't do anything. Everywhere she would touch, and it went down my whole entire body. It was the most empowering. Then it was that next day, the video went boom. Everything because I had already recorded that video. I didn't tell you this. I had already recorded that video the night before. I tried to edit it and it was just flat. It just didn't. What do you say? Go by the feel. And I just kept going, maybe I just need to be done. So I shut it down and I went upstairs. I go through that experience with her on Friday. There were so many things that happened during that hour and a half vision wise. And it was two things. Your knower will always know. Your knower will always know. And then at the very end, it was, this is your initiation. I'm going to cry. It was freaking, I just laid there just going, this is so powerful, so powerful. And I just knew it was so freaking peaceful. There was no effort. And I think that used to be my fear before is, I have this idea. I better do it or somebody else will do it. And that was always a belief system. If you don't do it, somebody else will. That was a limiting belief that I always had. And so it put the doing out here, not being. That's the only way to know how to describe it, right?
So what keeps coming to me, like, when I was saying it's you with all of the cooperating components that are filling in or whatever.
Yeah.
It is something that has come to me and it kept coming just now. So I got to say it is every wave has a name. Every thought is unique. Every idea that you have is going to combine with all of the energy, maybe people, maybe.
Those are the days. Those are the days.
And so then it forms and completes with it. So there is every thought is unique. Every wave has a name, meaning every bit of it is expansion.
Yeah.
because it doesn't matter if it's the same ingredients. If two chefs have the very same ingredients in front of them, just like they do on that show, I can't remember whatever that is.
I know that competition show, but yeah.
Yeah, and they have the very same ingredients, the outcome is going to be very different. So we're never in competition with anybody. That is a limiting belief that we've put on ourselves, or that we have absorbed, different people telling us that, and we believed it to be true. And then when you were initiated, and we're all initiated the moment we're here, but maybe even to another little portal. It's almost like that game. It's always a game. We're going, and then, oh, yay, woohoo, I'm on the next level.
And it's like the Sophia Code, that book. Remember the Sophia Code? The initiation of each code. Because we are chosen, right? We are initiated. It is. The gift of the initiation is in this gets to acknowledge and honor all that is. It's like, oh, that is me. It's a ceremony. It's such a ceremony of appreciation, not even gratitude, right? It's of appreciation of the is, and then to be able to bask and to see all of that. But what was crazy about it, so that was Friday. Saturday, Jason and I love animal shows. I don't know if you like those animal shows, like where Disney does them and you go into the animal kingdom. Because I had been getting these visions of Mother Earth. All right. So when I was having the thing on Friday, she made some type of statement, feel Mother Earth. Well, what happens when I hear that? I see Earth as I'm talking arms, and I mean, this massive, just Mother Earth. And we're nothing but a cell, even our species, all the way down to all of the species. And I see it now as it's like, oh, I'm just a human, meaning just in a powerful way, but we're all part of we're all part of the big. It's so crazy to describe that. Huh?
You met Mother Gaia.
Is that
Gaia is the name, and many names, just like God and universe and whatever. Gaia is the loving earth energy that can wrap her arms around you. And I say her, but it's
whatever it is. I even see it, Tricia, where we as humans are doing what we're doing to this planet, whatever that is. And I can even see, like, we think it's a mountain or whatever, but it's the being, and I'll see the eyes blink, and I see a breath go, and it's like, wow, we're just visiting this place. We're just hanging on to her.
Any moments that we can touch the reality of who we really are is so freaking powerful. That's what, when Abraham Hicks says, one who is connected, even just for a minute, is more powerful than 1,000 not connected. So once you have that connection, or you felt it and you can tap back into that, like, you're going to bottle that. If you can bottle that feeling that you had that day, that love, that all-encompassing, and just refer back to it.
Yeah.
That's kind of like today's download. That's your lucky charm.
That's cool.
We're all blessed. How much are we blocking? It's all available, and all we have to, everything is energy, and we can put up our doubt, our umbrellas, and all it does is watersheds it off away from us, the being, having, doing, because it's all about experience. Gosh, I used to hate when I heard somebody say, I'm so blessed, because what the heck is that? It just...
I know, I struggle with that word. If I do this, blessed to me feels this, because if you're blessed, does that mean someone's not?
Everybody has the ability to receive everything. We're all blessed. How much are we blocking from our own?
That's beautiful. Yeah. Are we expanding the blessing?
Right. Or denying it. Putting our umbrella up. Okay. Today is your lucky day. Your copper penny, your 4-leaf clover, your rabbit's foot. You have assigned luck or collectively good energy to objects, events, or things outside of you. In actuality, you are the gatherer of the energy, the so-called luck, the positive flow that can be yours at any time. The feeling that you get when you've found or seen the lucky object, sequence of numbers, or whatever you have assigned your good fortune to is all that matters. You have access to that feeling at any point in your physicality. It is but a bit of magic, the remembrance of all that is available, and that you are in the pure, full wholeness of your true self, the never-ending, complete light that you are. Assign it to objects if you want. Carry the lucky stone, the piece of lint, or any form of matter if you believe that it brings you the feeling of knowing your true power and worth. It is but a condensed clump of energetic feeling that you infused or gifted and remind yourself of when you hold, see, or touch it. You are the magic and have all that is ever needed or wanted at your energetic fingertips. Create at will using your feeling of the energy welling up and focused within you. Love the life you're living, and there will be even more to love. You are the lucky charm.
I love that. I love that.
So, the 4-leaf clovers and all of that stuff, or I got to have this if I'm doing a session. So it's all just what you've assigned to it.
Yes.
And so I told somebody one time, they said, well, when you're doing a session, you must turn a cup of water upside down and open the window so that all of the other stuff can escape.
So the spirits can escape. It's like, what?
And that, if I even think that, okay, but I don't need any of that, because I know it's all there. It's nothing outside of me. It's nothing outside of you. And it's just the allowing, the tentacles that you were feeling, the activation of all is just that. It's allowing and receiving more of the power. And the feeling that you get of the vibrational energy through those tentacles, it's uncontainable.
Well, and then what happened before it started is I drew a card. She has you draw a card before you start. And the card was change. So it was about metamorphosis and transformation. And it had this butterfly with this fairy on it, and the butterfly. And it was just so cool the way, because I see butterflies up here a lot. We do sunflowers, wildflowers, things like that on the property. And when you just sit and watch a butterfly and you watch them come in and the way that when you're really close to them and watch them go after a flower, it's beautiful in the way all of that works. And the tongue, the part that goes in, and then the antennas. It's the same as a dragonfly, right? When you watch how that dragonfly lights and what it does and all that transpires when it does, it just knows.
I read something the other day, and it's reminding me of this. When a caterpillar, transforms completely into the butterfly, when it's in the caterpillar state, it has no idea. It's not trying, I'm going to become a butterfly. It just goes about its business.
Give me them leaves and I'm gonna eat.
It does whatever, and then it becomes. And then once it is the butterfly, it never looks back to say, I was that, and I still have to be that, or I have to act like that, or I have to, it doesn't. It's a whole new thing. And that's what's happening with you, with me. We are that butterfly now, and we don't have to be.
I love you too. Powerful. Very, very, very powerful.
Let's breathe into that one time. Let's just breathe that one in and hold it for a minute, okay?
Okay.
That feeling and that knowing, that's what we can embody. We can tap into that at any time. Exhale.
Yes.
Beautiful.
It is beautiful. Very beautiful.
Because that's my whole thing, Deb, is to help other people know that I'm not, I know some people go, oh, well, you're just lucky. You're so, well, you've got the gift. Yeah, I opened my gift. Are you going to open yours?
Correct. And what you're saying right there by holding the space, it is what we are doing with the whole self. That's why it's whole selfly. It's expanding in life, leadership, and love, because what they hear today will say the same exact thing, and they're going to hear it different in a year. When you're expanding, you take in and you take in and you take in, and each time you take in, it's and it's like that spiral just starts.
Well, it's like those tentacles you were talking about earlier. You're so much more open to it. You're going to be receiving the very same energy that has always been there. It's just now you're open to more.
Yes.
Rather than, it's like the baby food. You have to feed little tiny.
Yep.
And then it's.
And Abraham gave us the great, in Abraham and Esther with the scale, because I look back now when I was going through coaching school, I was first learning about energy. All I did was sit. And I write about it in the book. And I'm sitting in the chair watching them going, seriously, all you got to do is just go, I got it. My head would just judge and judge going, yeah, I wish it was like that. What planet are they on? Because I was sitting there, one, to just get the certification because it was decided, hey, Debbie, you want to go get a coaching? Okay, go get coaching so it can be on the resume, right? That we offer that. I had no clue what was getting ready to happen to me. And I will never forget because that was my first experience with word cards. And I still got it right here. I have to show it to you.
You were a caterpillar. You didn't know you were going to be a butterfly.
Oh my gosh, that's perfect. It's right here somewhere in my drawer, but I have the card that I drew with the word acceptance on it the night before I went to my first coaching class. And that was when that word integrated into my being, is the word acceptance. And it has been that word like many.
But I was just thinking, so that little caterpillar, right? The caterpillar of Debbie, the caterpillar of Tricia, when we saw other butterflies flitting about, it'd be like, how the hell am I ever going to be that? There's no... What? Things flying? What the hell is that antenna? I mean, it would be that foreign. And it was that foreign. Let me tell you, this morning, thank you, Abraham. Thank you, Esther, for bringing this to me initially. Thank you. Thank you all. I mean, I'm in there just talking. And I even thought, if there was a camera in this house right now.
I know.
But I mean, that's truly, I feel so much appreciation and expansiveness that I'm so thankful that somebody said the words, and words don't teach, but somebody said it where it resonated, where it attached into my energetic being.
It had to have hit our knowing, though. Our knower had to have known there was more.
But we also were, as soon as we hit that, got that feeling, that little hit of, that's the what if. That's why it's the title of my book. Yeah. What if?
Yes.
If you can even just get that one little, instead of just completely shutting it down the minute, if you can have that, then the positive, that's the doorway. That's the peek into the.
Yeah, I agree. Because and you and I were independent enough of this, don't hold me in a box, right? And then when we realized religious wise, we were being held in these controlled boxes, and we both literally were breaking out at the same time. You were always, I feel, a few feet in front of just me, but the curiosity of me was like right there. But when we went to the Louise Hay, the You Can, I think was the name of it. The very first time we went to Atlanta and you said, we're going. I was like, okay, we're going. When you wore my shirt in the bed. At the night with the manifesting of the mussels at the restaurant, I will just never forget that experience because I was like, right, Tricia, like you're going to manifest mussels. And it was this massive, busy restaurant. And the next thing you know, the guy goes right in front of us and you go, see? And I was like, the hell was that?
Well, that conference that we went to.
And you got us down front with Brian Weiss. You told me the whole night before, we're going to be on the front row. And I'm like, yeah, right. Miss Conference Queen here, right? That traveled all over in the Christian world doing conferences. You never get on the front row. Well, guess what Tricia did? Front row center with Brian Weiss.
Yeah, didn't somebody even lay on the floor when they were doing that?
It was, I'll never forget, her name was Jill Craven, and her daughter sat next to us because she is still on my Facebook to this day.
The hair person.
Yes, the hair person. She sat next to us, so we met her. She ended up laying on the floor. I had never had an experience like that. And then of course, you have Google, so thank God back then we did have phones that researched. And when he had us look at the shoes, I knew I was in 1642, but I had no idea what shoes look like from 1642. And I saw my shoes. I saw the color. I saw the texture. I saw the dress. I saw everything. I'm going, what?
That's right. I forgot about that because I was also in the 1600s and I saw my shoes, but I was a young girl.
I'm so excited about this QHHT session with you. I have no clue what's going to happen. I'm having no expectations. I'm just openly excited, I guess is the word. I don't know what the word is, but.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I truly am. You know what?
I remember Wayne Dyer walking out on stage because I was just getting immersed with his work. And he walked out on stage. Of course, it blitzed my This is how you do a conference brain when I was all still locked in the thing. He walks out on stage, sits up on the chair, and for 3 hours has no agenda. And I'm going, we have no PowerPoint. What are we and I'm ready to take notes. I'm going to change my life. He just and I remember just going, what am I experiencing? I didn't even have words to put on you were all in. I remember that. And I'm just sitting there going, my logic, because I would get so logical trying to figure it all out.
Methodical. You're methodical, and that's actually, I mean, it works, but
it's finding the balance with it, because I do feel that there's a part of action with it that goes into it, but being free with it. I was like, I'm going to figure this spirituality thing out. Well, I will say, after that trip, I booked, and I told you this, I went to Maui. I booked that trip to Maui by myself to go see Wayne.
Oh, that's so great. And no, I didn't know that at the time, but you know what? So that conference, I see this in my mind's eye often, and it's not, somebody asked me one day, what's your goal? I don't have a goal. And that sounds like, everybody looks at me like, what do you mean you don't have a goal? I don't. I'm just accepting. And it is always so much better than what I can imagine for myself. So, and I love it. So I'm like this, fun little flitting about butterfly or dragonfly, I'm just like loving life. But from that conference, I can see myself, and this is going to sound crazy, but you know how the vastness of it, the amount, and I see it's me, and I'm on that little, what's that called? Barstool thing, that stool sitting up there. But I always think of Louise Hay, and I look kind of frail, which I've never been frail a day in my damn life, because I could go. So I don't know what it is, but that has come to me so many times. And, I've always, in my past, in my caterpillar, been very fearful of public speaking of any sort. Yes. I
would watch you on the stage when you would do acting, and you're just like freaking awesome.
Acting, Dad. Acting is embodying being somebody else. I could be somebody else all day long.
That's
and I can feel that. I can feel a role. And now I know that I'm comfortable enough with myself now that I'm okay to be. And so that's what I see, what I have imagined so many times that it just pops up in my head, and I don't know why. Somebody's adjusting my mic pack right before I'm walking on stage. Now, I've never had a mic pack on that I know of.
That's so funny. It's happening. It's done. And that's the thing about, the reason why I share with you this about Rachel is I want you to take those words. See, I'll be the methodical one that keeps the
please
train
do.
moving.
I'm so happy that you do.
Take the words refresh, reset, renew. It's interesting that it's in threes. See what comes up for you there, because Rachel knows what she wants to share. She actually sent me a video clip of what she shared with her particular staff. She does these like energizers with her staff, and she had a parent call her. And the parent said to her, what's the point, Rachel? What's the point? I bring my child to therapy. We do the therapy. What's the point? And she said her heart literally broke that a parent did not have the purpose and the point. And so she does this video to her staff to teach them how to integrate the parent into the purpose, into the point, into the buy-in. It was a beautiful video. And she goes, Mom, we get so caught up in life just doing the stuff that we even lose the point. And then we're supposed to be working with these children when you can literally invest life. Because see, these parents, most of them, they all have autistic children or are labeled children as if there's a disability or something's wrong. And that's what Rachel's mission is. It's not why me. Her mission is why not you? You have got a miracle in your hands. And that is what she is so passionate about infusing into people. And it's all been because of our journey with Lance, because of our journey. When you just see it all as the journey, it's not, you all right?
They're
our teachers. We say all the time.
They are the lucky ones. Mm-hmm. Actually, they are living the life of they don't have or the bad feelings or the stress or the blah, you know. And I'm not saying they don't have like any blips in
Right.
whatever, but they're living large.
Here's what came up to me when you said someone asked you what's your goal. It's not goals. To me, when you do a scale, goals is like way down here. It's intention.
That's what I've used with her. That is so funny.
Really?
Yeah,
Intention?
I mean, it's what is your intention for this? Let's set that.
Yes.
And then let it go.
Yes. And so, because your intention, that's why your intention is, and I'm just speaking what I experienced from you, it's freedom, it's being, and you hold that intention for people. How that unfolds, that's not where you focus. Oh, I'm going to do, 5 conferences over the next whatever. That's not where you're some people focus on that, and that's fine if that's what they want to focus on, because there's definitely worlds out there that you can do that with. That's just not how or what we're doing, if that makes sense.
No. And you know what I wanted to say?
That's exhausting to me because I did fight in that world for so long.
I did too. But actually, even when I was in that world, when I was being my caterpillar, I still used my gut. And I'll never forget the year or two that I didn't, or that I thought, no, I can't. Because somebody had told me, well, you just go on your gut, don't you? You need to do a SWOT analysis. You need to do this. You need to do that. And I remember thinking, oh God, yeah, I'm not doing this right. So I went through doing all of that, and it felt horrible. And that's before I knew that I should trust how I felt over everything. And then finally I was like, well, I don't like that at all. And finally I just threw it out, with the bathwater, baby with the bathwater, or whatever they say.
Yeah.
But so let me say this about Rachel. I am so happy that Rachel, not somebody like Rachel, but Rachel is doing what she's doing, following her passion, and it's pouring into not just the children, but the parents and everybody who comes into contact with her is experiencing that, and they are all going to benefit.
Yeah.
From their knowing of Rachel.
Yeah, I agree. And there is going to be this particular intention is for relationship building for the field of therapy. So she wants to open it to all therapists. This is not about, and she's like, Mom, I can call our cochlear implant companies right now. She's going to ask them to sponsor it. She goes, this isn't about asking Tricia to come for free or you for free. It's not anything about that. She goes, this is ease. She goes, I do not have time to focus and build a retreat. This is about creating a space that we show up for renew, reset, or refresh. What is it? Refresh. It's very specific words: refresh, reset, renew. And it's interesting because to me, those words stack, they build upon each other. But anyway, so that's the intention for that one. And it's about feeding the soul, the mind, body, soul. It's about feeding the soul. And I do strongly feel, Tricia, that there will be the one that you and I already actually said to her will be for the families.
Absolutely. You know what I was just imagining? And it's almost like, well, the seed that goes in the ground, it's hard, right? It's hard.
Yeah.
It's the people. It's they're covered with a shell of why me and all of that kind of stuff. And when they go in this fertile ground, that's when they can actually, open a little bit. Or like a popcorn seed. I was thinking of that, like popcorn seed. It's hard as hell. How is something I'm going to be able to eat come out of that? And then you put it in a hot situation. They're in a hot situation. They're in hot oil, and then from that, to be able to go, it's a beautiful thing.
It is cool. The heat makes you.
Yeah. I mean, if it sits there in the pantry with no, living life, being all popcorny.
It's so hard. Break a tooth. I'm waiting for the day that you'll get Metatron will give you a thing and there'll be popcorn poofed on the front.
Well, actually, it almost did today. And then but I was looking for the little leprechaun and but the 4-leaf clover came right up, boop, like that.
That's cool. And I will tell you, through this journey for me, part of the experience for me has been, that's what your knower will know. take your place. There's very specific things that my higher self, my guides, my presence is telling me that are very specific. So a lot of decisions I am making now from my knower and not from, what do you think of this? Give me your opinion. I've put that into practice. But as I put it together and the language together, there's been a taking your place that my higher self, I'm going to cry, has told me to own it because I've been fearful of owning it. And so I put it out for other people's opinion. I've had to just go, I have to own this.
That's perfect, Deb, because you owning it by always saying, changing if somebody said something. When you feel really good, that's why I said it's more important how you feel about it. When you said, how does everybody I always will ask people's opinion too, because like I want to know about my typos, or I got a booger in my nose, or whatever.
Yeah. There's a fine line of feedback versus,
But the part that the true self, the part that if you allowed it to be diluted, like changing it in any way, because that's their thing, let them have their opinion, but be solid in that what you know to be true. And so I'm not saying don't ask for opinions. I will always, but sometimes you won't even need to ask because you already know.
Yeah. You're so funny. I know.
So,
and I'm glad that you spoke that with her and that you felt that with the name, because they're just, and what happens with me in the back of my head, because I have this flow, right? And we're in this flow. And then for me, there's a untethering of the soul. It's not detachment. It's, okay, I got to let that tether go, because I was using the tether as my grounding, not presence as my grounding.
But you're not responsible.
Correct. I'm not responsible.
You're responsible for you only. And then how it flows over to somebody else, it's giving them the okayness to be who they truly are.
Because there's a sense of just commitment and energy change that happens in that moment, and people going, no, I'm committing to this. Because a lot of times you choose to walk out that door, you're choosing to walk back into the urgencies of the day. If you do this comes to the science of doing to change the habit. That's the space that you and I hold, because we are working with people that are still stuck in the old. If you walk out that door, that old habit has you, because you have not made the action in the movement here to shift it.
Was it yesterday's that said you get caught into the pocket of disturbance or something energetic? You get caught into the, it's like a little washing machine. And then finally
I think it was, yes, it was yesterday's, because what's so powerful about that for me, Tricia, is years ago, I tried to believe it is, let's do a package so they can buy a package. They're going to buy a package.
It's a whole different feel.
It's a whole different feel, because we're not offering a package in hopes to sell the package. This is your action of freedom, because you are saying no to expanding this habit that has put you around that drain over and over and over and over again.
And you know what's so cool is it doesn't affect us. They get it or they don't. We are still this. Right. It's not like, I don't have enough followers, or I didn't get enough people to sign up. That doesn't change how I feel about it.
No.
Or how I feel about what we are doing. And the flow of the energy of money is just ridiculous, really.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Do you remember a long time ago, and I don't even know why this just popped up. There was something that happened, and it was you and I, not in real life, not in this life, in one of those, maybe Wayne Dyer thing, I don't know, something, and the imagination, and it's you and I, and we're in this almost like crystal palace. It's all glass, and I can look out, and it is very expansive, meaning I can see all around glass. But outside of the glass is snow-capped mountains. Do you remember me telling you this?
Yeah, I do remember you telling me this.
I don't know where this is, Switzerland or something. I mean, I don't know. And it may not even be a physical location. It's just we have the vista and the view of being able to see everything unencumbered, because there was like no window frames, no nothing. It's completely like this. But seeing all the snow-capped everything, but we're all like
Toasty and warm and loving it.
Yeah, and I remember thinking, wonder where that is. And at the time I was thinking, oh, we must be going to do something in Zurich.
Who knows? Who knows? And it's just, the vortex of how fast the belief system's always been there. Everything's falling off that's blocked it for me in the past.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Yeah. There you go. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I love you. I love you. All right, cool. Talk to you later.
Love you. Bye. Thanks for listening to this episode of Your Life Redefined. Hopefully it'll help you in redefining your life situations. Reach out to us, send us messages, and actually, if you would, just like and share this so you can get it to some more of your friends and we can continue doing this.